Today is January 7th, 2026, Pickup Sticks. I want to add some percussion to this track that we were working on yesterday and wrap this thing up. Probably do some mixing on the guitars and then I guess a mix on the overall track. And we'll see what else happens today. But I want to show you guys my process for mixing these guitars. Just an update, this song has been sitting on the back burner for a few months now. And yesterday I re-recorded the bass and some guitars. The bass has already been processed, the drums have already been processed. I'm just gonna mix down the guitars and see how the vocals sit with this new mix. Let's add that percussion first before we do anything else. Create some tracks. We'll call this one Shakers, and then we'll label this one Tambourine, or just put Tamb. Trying to think of what parts this would sound good in. Because you don't want to put it through the whole song, but I don't know. I mean, I've done that before. Sometimes that works. Okay, probably not there. Alright, that'll work. Now tambourine, where do I want to put the tambourine? So yeah, I don't know where to put this. Maybe chorus part? Probably not. Yeah, they would sound cool in the verse parts too. Double it up on the chorus. And there we have it. Tambourine and shakers done. And I mean, it's totally up to you where you want your tambourine and your shakers to sit. There's no rule as to where they should be. I think it's bullshit. If you want your tambourine to stand out a little bit more in the mix than other mixes, then that's totally fine. If you want your shakers to stand out more, that's totally fine. If you want them to be a little bit dulled down, that's also totally fine. I feel like whatever works for the song is what you should be doing. And for me, in this particular song, I feel like where the tambourine and the shakers sit in this frequency spectrum and the volume of them, I feel like it fits for this song. So I don't know, but what do you guys think? And now we can get to processing some of these guitars. Let's go ahead and center our guitar first. So that one's center, Furia 1, Furia 2. This one's a little bit more brighter, actually a lot more brighter than this one. This one's a more warmer sound. So let's go ahead and mix this one down. We'll go compression. That one sounds good. We'll go back to a hard left, copy, paste this, and then we'll do the same thing, center this one. All right, now let's hear them together. With the bass. And we could slowly start introducing other instruments. But first, let's go ahead and throw in that side chain because I do want the drums to sound more punchy. We can add some compression to the grouped guitar track. I like the way it's sounding. Now let's go ahead and mix this one. This one's centered. So we're going to have to do something about this because the vocals are also centered, which I have an idea of what I want to do. Let's loop this. What we can do is go in here to isotope. I always use this for a widener. The vocal synth, I'll use it for whatever instrument I want it to sound like wider or space it out. So let's play it and then I'll show you. So you probably can't tell unless you're wearing headphones or unless I screen record this, but trust me when I say it's wider. Now we can also add a side chain to this just to make those drums pop through. This isn't like a rule of thumb or anything, but just a little insight on, my approach to mixing these songs. When I'm mixing a particular instrument, I try not to listen to that instrument too much, because if I do, I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm hypersensitive about it sometimes, where I'll sort of bring that instrument, I'll start hearing it louder in my head, and so I'll lower it more, and then when I come back to the mix, it sounds really, really low. So that's just because I feel like I, was obsessing over that instrument so much where I was just like only concentrating on that instrument. So when you're mixing, just maybe try this approach of not listening to a particular instrument, but just listening to the song. Close your eyes, listen to the song, or stare at a blank wall. Try not to listen particularly to like each instrument, particularly to any instrument. Just listen to the song. You know what I mean? Don't pay attention to the song. Don't focus on the song. Just listen to it, if that makes any sense. But you should still rest your ears and come back to that mix though. So when you're done mixing, usually that's not the final mix, so don't think that you're done. I usually don't believe that I'm done mixing once I feel like I'm done. I'll step away, maybe a day or two later I'll come back to it and listen and do different tests, headphone tests, car tests, whatever, a Bluetooth speaker or something, and that usually helps too. So just a little, I don't want to say a tip because, this can either hurt your mix or it can help your mix, but just be open-minded about it. That's all. Now, of course, the song still needs work, but we're getting there. We're in the right direction. This is more or less how I want it to sound. Punchy and a little bit dirty, a little bit gritty. I like using that word, gritty. I noticed that. Let's do a little screen recording of the track so you can hear it in its true form, in its true mix for now. And then, of course, I'm going to give my ears a rest and I'll come back to it. But, just something to listen to. So that's going to do it for today's video. Tomorrow, let's write a new song. I'll see you in the next one.